Go out. Hang on just a second, guys. I forgot something. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have to recut this. It is in very, very, very bad shape, and I'll show you how bad it is. What's up, guys? Jerry, what's going on, buddy? Let me get the phone a little closer. I can't really see too good. All day out in the sun, my eyes are pretty roasted. Probably why I got these nasty crow's feet. That's scars all around my eyes anyway. So my eyes are always all wrinkled anyway. Hey, what are you doing? Hi, what are you doing? You say hi to everybody? Say hi. Up here. Up there. Up. Say hi. Hi. It's my boy. It's my boy. Yes. That's buddy, ain't ya? So what's everybody been up to this week? Man, my buddy here just been, usually I go do my live feed. He spends the whole time barking, aggravating me, but we'll see. So I see Jerry's here, Billy's here, James, what's going on? Old Etna Tree Service. Where are you located, Jerry? I'll show you guys how bad this is. Fine, stop. Come on, man. You know I'm doing a live feed. I can't even hear myself think when you bark. Or less try to talk and like keep conversation going. Alright, so check this out. So that's usually if I'm doing a knot at the end of my rope and I'm using one of these. I believe it's either a fisherman, double fisherman, or a scaffold. But that's the knot I usually use. It cinches really tight, and that's the whole thing I'm trying to do. Yeah, I got this shirt from a guy I know. He's all right. Some say he's the all rightist. Check this out. I almost dropped that on my toe. I got like little flip flops on. So I know it looks like there's some stuff there, but look, actually there's not. And I rigged with this today too, and used the first speed line. Yeah, what do you think? Like it folds in half really easy. So problem is it's just like, I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8 foot of rope that I'm going to use at the end, or that I'm going to lose at the end, and it just sucks. This rope continues to get cut shorter and shorter and shorter, and I think it's me every time doing it. I end up having it anchored up in the tree. I cut it all the way down to the inner 3-strand stuff that's there. You see it right there? See a little better there. Yeah. Dang. So, yeah. Um, Problem with this knot is it does cinch down really tight, and it's kind of hard to get untied. But that's the reason usually I put that knot in, because this is the rope I use to pull trees over. Um, and a lot of times if I'm doing just natural crotch rigging or something simple like that, it'll be the rope I use for that also. Um, so it's kind of that multi-use rope that gets used for everything. No matter what I'm doing, this rope's usually involved. And it's honestly, it's time to probably switch out, but I don't know, I like it. I use it all the time, and I was recently just talking about with a few of you guys asking about 3-strand rope and switching to maybe a 3-strand, because like I said, the purpose mainly for this and that it gets used for more than anything is to pull over trees. So I'm using a maze dam, and this fits in the maze dam. This is 12-strand, I believe, and it's not designed for that. It's designed for 3-strand. So it probably would work better with 3-strand, more than likely, if that's what it's designed to take. But yeah, this is what I had, and this is what I've always used. This was originally like the climb lines that we used to use before I switched over to all the fancy stuff with the sewn eyes and everything. This would be my climb line. Uh, the 12-strand ropes is usually what I use for everything. So this is pulled over a ton of trees. It's been used as a speed line a ton of times. Like it's pulled over crazy back leaners. So the amount of pressure that's been put on this knot, like it wouldn't surprise me if it just doesn't come untied, like ever, because of how tight I've gotten this thing before to pull some stuff over. But we'll see. We'll wiggle at it for a second. I'll talk with you guys, and then we'll jump on to something else. Northern California, 40 minutes from Oregon border. Oh, right on, Jerry. Well, you have a nice like selection of trees. You got the big ends, and that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Okay, so I got it. Usually with that knot, which I believe is probably a scaffold knot, um, if you get that bottom loop pulled off, usually it's good. The reason I always use that knot, and I learned it and used it so much, if you think about it, this was the setup where we would use to climb, back before I switched over to like micro pulleys and everything. We had these clips. This is the only thing we ever had, and the reason we had these is because you would have a lanyard that would mess up, or you'd cut it, so you would cut the clips off the lanyard. So these big bulky clips is what we would use for tie-ins, for forever. I mean, this is probably 10 to 15 years worth of me climbing trees was always like this. So we would just take it, and I don't know what knot we used to use. I think we just did some overhand knots repeatedly, boom, 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 like 4 of them or something, and then used it. But double fisherman, I'm a fan of. Okay, yeah. So the thing is, when you put that on there, like say this is probably how we did it before. We just did some overhands, over and over. So what you're trying to do is have, it knotted, but you're trying to have a tail hanging off the hook so that you can go over here and tie a system on and then clip it. But the reason I like this knot is, so one of these knots will put the rope out this way, the tail. The other knot, between the fisherman, okay, so double fisherman, the line travels down, and the scaffold will put it out the side, I believe. So the way it works is, I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you wrap twice like this. Okay, so twice through there, and then I think it's over the top and back through. I definitely don't tie these knots all the time. Um, yeah, I think that's it. And then that cinches down. So what you end up with this one is it's like that. So it comes out the side, which makes for when you go to tie it on here, it's such a perfect knot. But see, if I'm using the system for rigging and stuff like that, I don't want the tail coming out the side. I want the tail staying like this so I can streamline everything. So that's where the other knot works better, and that's why I always use it. So it's almost like the same thing, I believe, except for, I don't want a tail when I'm rigging. You would just take, let's put it like this, go against my orange shirt, around twice, once, once, twice. So you got those two loops, you're gonna go over and back up. So what it's just gonna do is it's gonna work like a slip knot, basically. Um, Always field dress all your knots. I probably could have just did two loops. Instead I did three. I like it a little better. It's a bit overkill. But after you field dress that for a while, you end up with a really clean knot where the tail travels down, and you can just slide it and cinch it up there. And that knot works really good. Usually I throw a little tape there, and then this works really good for rigging. So, and it's a really clean knot. Like tail orientation, if you're having to tie and retie something, take it on or put it on, take it off, stuff like that. That's kind of important. So, like with this knot, I would use something like this with some of my X-rings sometimes when I would make my own slings, but I would make the tail a little longer and I would tape the tail to the rope, and then I would constantly check and inspect it to make sure it wasn't loosening off or the tail wasn't slipping through, and I've never had an issue. But yeah, I think you should always, like, if you can have it professionally made and can afford it and stuff like that, like, do it. Like, buy a real sling from somebody and use it the proper way. But I know sometimes you don't have the money and you need the same effect and stuff. So I'm that guy, and I don't mind sharing how I solve the problem. Maybe it'll help somebody else. I think tie it together and it has another couple years. Yeah, actually what I was doing when I was doing this, and you guys can use this technique too, it's really good. Say you have a rope and you nick it, but you need to finish using that rope for the day. Um, the circus knot, once again, is the perfect knot for this. The second loop, whatever, when you're trying like this, you could just double that over, tie it, but you got this big gaudy knot that the rope's not gonna, it's like kind of weird, and it's a big bulky knot. So the circus knot, and that could come out. It won't come out for sure, and you can isolate the exact spot. And other knots, it's hard to like isolate. So what you'll do is in your hand, you'll do 3 loops over your hand. You'll end up with 3 loops like this. So what happens is this one is the one that's actually going to make the knot. So what you would do is take that bad spot and make 1 loop, and you want the bad spot to end up on the top in the middle. The second loop. Alright, so there you go. You got 3 loops, the bad spot in the middle. So what you do is you grab the middle to tie this knot, you lift, and the order is 1, 3, 1, 3, I think. Or 1, 3, 1, 3. So lift up the second, grab the first one, pull through, grab the third one, pull through, then grab the first one again. So it's 1, 3, 1. And then you have this, but after you field dress this and get it all snug down, you could really like isolate that way more if you wanted to, and like make the loop smaller. But what we did is this is a really good midline knot that you can easily untie after it's been loaded completely. This is my favorite and my go-to knot over Alpine Butterfly for sure, but it's a very simple knot. I'll show you one more time, and I'll show you how easy it is to undo too. This is the cool thing about it. It's got 3 little locks. So you got a lock there that will relieve pressure. You have a lock here that will relieve pressure, and you have another one below it. So I've heard this called a circus knot, but I've also heard it called a triple bowline. So maybe that's the 3 locks that you're seeing, triple bowline. I don't know. I'm not inventing and naming things. But so the way that would work is you have pressure on the 3, so you just slide. One of them will slide, or 2 of them will slide. You get a little movement, and it's very simple to untie after that. You just pop it out. So one more time. 3 loops. Now I don't have that in the middle, so this time I'm going to try to make it a little smaller and isolate that a little better. See how that works. So 3 loops. You've got your bad spot that you're trying to conceal in the middle. So lift it up, and remember, you lift the second up in the air and you grab from under. 1, 3, 1. That's it. 1, 3, 1. So 1, reach under, 3, reach back under, 1. Get your hand out, right down. I've never done it by not looking at the knot before. That was weird. I want to get all that out of there and isolate the knot more if I can. Monty, come on, man. Knock it off. Nope. What are you all huffy puffy about? Huh? What's up, wild man? What are you doing? Being crazy? So the way you field dress it is slide there, and then grab the loop and slide there. The 3 locks. So you want to hit all 3 of them. You can see I was able to isolate it and make it very much like a lot smaller. And yeah, we would just use the rope like that, but you'd have to remember about this spot the whole time, and it would get stuck sometimes, or you'd have to anchor 8 extra feet of rope. So it was aggravating, but it can definitely be done. What rope is it? It's been so long, I can't remember if this is New England rope, but I think it's Samson rope. I'm pretty sure, actually. So what GP say? Dream of mine to see and possibly climb a 150-foot tree. Yeah, that would be awesome. I climbed a tulip poplar in my area that was it was probably 120, 130 maybe 130. There's a video and stuff, but it was the biggest one I've ever seen, and it was so gnarly and tall, like it just set above everything in my town. But yeah, that would be fun to go even higher. I had to connect ropes together, like I had 200 footers and to base anchor I had to connect 2 ropes together, and it was like almost halfway up the tree. The connection point was almost halfway up the tree, so I would say that's 200 footer plus another 100 foot. That'd be 50, so yeah, I'd say 130, 130ish, you know, because there was probably 20 or 30 foot above me where I was anchored. What's up, Turbo? How you doing, buddy? I have been here. Life has been crazy. I know y'all. Miss you guys. That's awesome, Turbo. Glad to have you, man. The usual suspects are here. Yes, sir. Well, we got a new one here. Jack Lumber. What's up? What's up, Jack? Cut 2 of those with this swivel off some upput blinds today. Yeah, they're such good clips. I mean, I would never waste them. You can take these same clips and girth hitch a speed line strap to it, and these are like the speed line wood. I would trust these. So, and they'll take a beating. I think that can't be right. The reading on that. So let's see. It should have, okay, 23 kilonewtons. I believe a kilonewton's like 150 pounds. So that would be 5,000 pounds is what it's saying next to it. Or maybe a kilonewton. Is it 150? I don't know. I think I do this every single time. Let's see what Jack said. Have you ever had issues with your spur pads rubbing on your leg? Every time I wear mine, they rub holes in. Okay, I got you, buddy. Check this out, Jack. I just took the band-aid off. There's some spikes. I didn't get my gaff tight, and I let, like, if you let your pants stay bunched up inside the pad, it'll do that. Yeah, I gotta adjust some stuff on mine. There's something wrong. A little extra padding probably wouldn't hurt. Maybe I'll add some padding to it or something. I'm gonna have to do something. But yeah, I've had that issue, man, and it's use tea towels. I mean, use some smaller hand towels and add them to your stuff. Or I think with mine, I may actually try to adjust and lift my my gaff up a little higher. Because if you think about it, you don't want a lot of spikes I see connect halfway onto the calf here. And if you can get that strap up here, it's going to stay better. Your calf muscle is actually going to hold it on there. So, like, you see up my shorts. Jesus Christ. I lost all train of thought, too. So, yeah, you extend your gaps out some. You're saying, hang on, where was he saying it rubs a spot on the back of your calf? Okay. See? The only reason I don't have an issue with anything like that, mine was actually rubbing the corner of the pad rubbing. My spike is completely bent sideways, and I need to bend it back, I think. But yeah, I have big buck pads, so they're like this wide, and it's one unit, one strap that goes all the way around. So my stuff doesn't move around a whole bunch. A lot of times after you put your spike on, you can take your pant leg and first pull down on it and then grab it and pull up on it. And what that'll do is if you got any weird wrinkles or wadded up areas of your jeans, kind of position them around before you start, because you can really hurt your leg or put a crazy blister or sore on yourself because of that rubbing all day and stuff. So what's up, Jared? Dan's here too. Cool. John's here. What's up, man? Yeah. That's just a good way, like a good trick. The circuit's knot, I promise you, if you learn it and start to use it, It's just too good not to use. It is my favorite knot. Monty, come on, man. He grumbles like I do. It's stupid hot, man. That's it. That's the. I mean, the title of the video. Burnt out.
Knock it off.
This heat here is a special kind of heat. I don't know if most people understand how the heat in Missouri works, like how bad and horrible the humidity can get, but it gets really bad. Hang on just a second. Shut up. Throw a squeaky toy at him. That'll shut him up. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on comments. Never done the circus, always used alpine butterfly and a knot like that. They're awesome for teaching that. Oh, cool, yeah. I don't. The reason I like it so much for that is because I know exactly what I isolate will be that last grab, like link or loop that I grab is exactly the spot, so I can keep it really small. I don't, like I said, this is my go-to knot now, um, and it works really good because what I use it for is an anchor. Then I take this end of the rope when I base anchor, and you guys have seen how I do it, but I'll take and go, this goes up the tree, and then I'll go through this, I'll go around the tree, I'll go through this, and I'll go back around, and then I'll take this end and strip it back to it, so it puts the piece in a bite both directions, so that the base anchor itself can't loosen off and start to slip up a tree. So it's kind of a double locking setup on it, but I just use a micro pulley and a beaner. But we were working on a 120-foot pond, roast pine, 40 inches in diameter. Oh, that's awesome, Jerry. Yikes, a polar bear just. Yeah, I know. He's a jerk. Now my feet are great, man. There's no more blood, no more personal. Or nothing. It's cool, man. The skin's back. Oh, that is so awesome, John. 224.8, brother. Great news. Yeah. Oh, 228 pounds is equivalent to a kilonewton. Right on. Oh. Yeah, a lot of times when they're short, what happens is you'll start to get like a hole back here because it's the only spot actually holding, and the front of your spike, like sometimes to get it tight enough, and then if they're buckle pads, you want to move that buckle to the right spot. I've seen some different tricks, but I mean, I don't know. A lot of it's probably gonna have to do with what straps you use, or maybe take your actual strap and take duct tape and make a bunch of duct tape on it and cushion it. Make it a thick wad of like pad of duct tape. And that should be a lot softer on your leg than the hard straps. So if it's regular straps, maybe try that. But if it's the Velcro ones, then there's something up. The cushion has moved around, and you're probably exposed to a spot that's hard again. So I'm probably dealing with kind of that same issue, man. You're not my master. What is up? 225 pounds of kilonewton ton. Okay, cool. Right on. Good to know. Okay, yeah. I'll move them up a bit. Yeah, just try that, Jack, and see how that works. It should be more comfortable. Anybody that's ever used one of those really big climbing boots, like a really tall climbing boot, the comfort when climbing is unmatched because everything becomes one unit. all the way up your leg, because you're taking all the impact and force and everything halfway down your leg region. So to bring that up, you're taking it closer to the knee, which works better. It's a bending point, and it just becomes much more comfortable. Um, it's not such a weak point in the middle of your leg, in the middle of that muscle. It's more on the top of it, and it's the bigger a connection point, the better the connection. Like, so if you can use weld like a little piece of metal at the end here, I can probably bend it and pop it off. But if you welded it, all the way across it to right here, and you got a little bit hang, I might have a lot harder time taking that off. Same kind of concept. The connection that you're gonna make is gonna gonna help a lot. So that's why I'd say extending will give you more comfort and control. Um, but if you're feeling pain, sometimes they do need to be. I've never really heard anybody needing to shorten their gaps, but I would imagine it's probably possible. On the inside, yeah, okay. So that would be, yeah, that would be probably a pad issue, or it could be. Okay, I have shank pads on my spikes. So on the shank right here, if that's what's hitting your leg, try to get some Weaver shank pads. They go over the shank. It's just a cushion that goes on the inside, and what that does is takes away all that like negative space between my leg and the gaff. Um, so when you have that gap there, there's room for it to move and do all kinds of stuff. But by adding that pad in between the actual gaff, or like shank, I guess is what it would be called. Um, when I added that pad, I don't have this gap between the shank and my leg so much, and I have this cushion. So you have a bunch of space there. If you don't have that, and what happens is you're gonna hit the metal a lot of times, and there'll be like that little screw, sometimes a nut, or just the metal alone hitting repeatedly. It just doesn't feel good. So maybe look at doing something like that, a shank pad, if you're starting to get it on the inside of the leg, because I used to get that same thing and dealt with it. It was sucked horribly. I would get stuff like sores on my ankles sometimes, and I would get them halfway like on the total inside until I got those, and now I don't I don't have that issue anymore. But I take the shank pad and I make sure that it sets behind, like I slide it up in there and it sits like on the back inside lip of my pad here, so that it's not like stabbing in. You can position them however you want. If you want more cushion up the leg, you slide it kind of upward. It only has about this gap, so you can move it back and forth. But sometimes, depending on how old your boots are, sometimes you may want that padding down more towards the ankle bone. And I've had days where, maybe I was skating and I have a sore on my ankle, so I'll move that pad downward some and put more cushion towards the ankle as opposed to up the calf and on the shin. I'm using those steel geckos. So okay. What's version pads? You on here? Geckos, yeah, that's all one unit. You're starting to get a sore to the inside. Check and see if the pad has a hard spot somewhere on the inside where it sounds like almost where the shank and pad are meeting. Um, See if there's something there that's rubbing your leg. Also, make sure you don't end up getting your pants bunched up, because this is the problem. The seam of your jeans goes to the inside, and if you double that up into a wad, you don't realize how hard that can be over hours of sweating and it rubbing. You can really put a sore on your leg. So where it's probably not as important in the wintertime, in the summer when you're sweating so much, there's a lot of things that you kind of have to think of. Um, Getting everything positioned correctly is I know it sounds silly, but it's way more important to me in the summertime because if not, I end up in situations like that where I'm all sweaty and it's just rubbed all day, and before I know it, I have this big sore on my leg from it. So, the heat and humidity is brutal here in Alabama. I'm gonna go through comments 'cause I feel like I'm way behind, so I can catch up. Um, Bad here in North Carolina too. The weather app said it's 92 and it feels like it's 108. Dang, big Velcro straps. They are big Velcro straps. That's cool. So I don't think it's a strap issue. I really it's probably a pad issue, more than likely, or like a jean issue, or it's a an issue with the spikes. Like the adjustment height of the spike is gonna change some stuff. And even if you don't like it, now you have a sore on your leg. So adjust your spikes so it's not rubbing that sore always to, definitely until you can figure out exactly what that is and get that fixed. So you don't just tear that spot of your leg completely up. It's close to 90 here and I'm done. I go home. Yeah, man. No, like I'll just burn up in it. It's been rough. It's been rough. And then I've bought my editor for that I use for YouTube. I have bought that editor. I paid for a lifetime of it. And then they told me I needed to rebuy it, so I bought a year's worth of it. Now they're asking me to rebuy it again and buy a lifetime thing again, and I'm just aggravated. I don't like it, but just haven't felt like making videos really either. Um, but I'll try to get some time to put a few out for you guys if I can. Mine right below my knee. Yeah, that's the most comfortable. And the closer you can get it to the knee, you don't want it so close that like when you bend your leg, you're rubbing there on your knee. But right below the knee is usually my preferred spot, and the pad works way better, and the strap on your calf. It'll actually hold the gap up, the spike up. I see a lot of guys. Um, they will put their. I'm trying to think of how I do it. Yeah, when I put my spikes on, I put my foot in. I do my bottom straps is like kind of tight. Then I do the top strap. I get them real tight after I do the bottom. Then I go back to the bottom and snug them all the way up. Um, Having loose straps at the bottom will allow the spike to flop a lot, and you can really get some sores on your legs if the spike is moving. So you don't want movement in the spike. That's why I say that pad helps a lot because it takes away the negative space that's there that allows for movement. So you set them really high up, like 2 fingers on your kneecap. I mean, you don't want to be like if you bend your leg, you see how your knee is like a ball here. You want to be right in here, like right at the above the calf. Like when your calf is here, you want it to like the top, very top of it to be to where it catches when your calf starts to come in. That way, it's holding better. So it's just gonna work a lot better. Yeah, I mean, I think most people don't realize that you can adjust those. And if I'm being honest, 90% of tree climbers and people that have ever climbed trees are very short. Um, I'm like 6'2", very lanky, all legs. So it's like, if you have long legs, you're gonna have a total different. You're gonna need a total different gap. You know, where a spike would work for a short guy. If a guy's much shorter than you, he's got kind of stubby legs. That short spike setup may have it probably went all the way up to his knee, but you know he he was short. So you're taller. You have to adjust them things accordingly. So that's just my experience with them. You're gonna get a lot of comfort from that. You should. and then eliminating any negative space gaps that are in there. Whether it's underneath on your boot, you don't want space there. You don't want, when you lift your leg up and you shake your foot, move your foot, you don't want your spike shaking. Like, it should be snug and connected to your leg. Any extra movement in that spike, putting them on loose, it's not ticking. I'm telling you, it becomes incredibly uncomfortable. You'll get sores all over, and it it doesn't feel as good climbing. Like it sucks climbing because there's you don't feel secure. So um, a good pair of boots is going to help with gaps and spikes, feeling comfortable on them too. Steel shanks in the middle of the boot where your spikes go up under, and then a tall boot that, like, adds some comfort to it too. So there's a bunch of different stuff. All the wrinkles pretty. I think it'll make a huge difference. 100%, 100%. And a lot of times what happens if and I've had them sores back here. What happens is I go and I tighten my gaff up, or my pad up, or my spikes up, and my jeans bunch up back here because I'm taking everything and pressing it this way, so it all bunches up back here, and then I strap down real tight, and that stuff rubs on the back of my leg the whole time. Where if you can just, after you put your spike on, reach down right below where your spike's at and kind of pull your pants, give them a pull, kind of take all them wrinkles out from behind the pad, and that'll feel much better. You'll get it 100% though. Sometimes I go blister mine across the top of my pad. Yeah, yeah, that usually means, that could mean a lot. I mean, that could have something to do with your pad being too short, because what happens is if your spikes are too short, they start to droop down here. So you get movement in them. And then if you get on the downward slope of your calf here, it's shoving up into it. So, like, every time you spike in, it's shoving into your calf. Where if you can get that spike pad up here, it it's holding here. Now, if it gets here, and it starts to move, it gets on the down slope of your calf. Your calf just doesn't hold good enough. So if the spike's loose and it can get down, it has any movement in it, then it starts to slam into your calf over and over and over and over. Every time you spike in, you get a sore pretty quick. So extending them gaps out helps a lot. That's just my experience with it. My bucket truck cuts down on the 100%. Bucket fix all the blisters. You have content. I'm still a little one-man show. The neighbor lets me borrow the bucket truck from time to time. Oh, that's cool. Hey, I'm just that fast two guy. So, nothing wrong with being able to handle a issue or a problem without having 50 crew members and all the equipment in the world. So take pride in the fact you can still you're able to do that, because there are very few that can. Billy's right too. Retirement probably does cure every bit of it. I expect the hell out of any guy getting it for themselves, 100%. Because nowadays it is probably pretty easy to sit at home and be able to get a check. Seems like everybody has one. If I'm being honest, I kind of want one too. Like, if they're just giving them away to everybody. I say that, but that's a lie. I didn't want, like, I, I, I don't want this stimulus thing. Listen to this. I'll tell you guys, because it just doesn't matter. I got unemployment when I was like, this is so funny. I got unemployment when I was really young. I'm 18 or 19. They gave me unemployment, and then Obama was in office. He had just got in office, and gave me unemployment, and then they was gonna. Oh, they gave me an extension, $600 that I was supposed to get, so I get paid for a little longer because like the economy was real bad or something. But that's the reason I got laid off. It was supposed to be temporary, and then it became permanent. But they gave me this, and then like so, then I get old, and now randomly when I'm like 40 years old, they're like, "Hey, yo, let's get that $600 back." What? You're not serious right now? And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah. We'll take it $1 at a time. We don't care." Like, I feel like anytime they give you something, they're just gonna ask for it back later. Yes, Ground Pounder does have a channel. He does some really good shorts. They're always cool. Yeah, they're alright, man. They're definitely a bit different now because of my editor's kind of a little funky and I can't connect to my camera anymore, to my phone, or I don't know. So I'm making the best out of a crappy situation as far as the videos go lately, but you know, we're still keeping them going. It's just I'm not. I mean,
There you go in, Bubba.
I can't make $1 at YouTube anymore. Like it doesn't. It's so ridiculous. I don't know. I don't get it.
Go inside, buddy.
I don't get it. It used to. YouTube used to be
Come on, let's go and get some
cool.
water.
Like it would pay for my SD cards. Like I could buy SD cards and stuff like that. Not since the pandemic. Like things are bleak and like just over here
Come on, Mom.
squeezing,
Let's go in.
you know, squeezing a nickel, trying to get 2 dimes out of it.
Come on.
So
Come on.
I don't know.
Go in.
They're wearing really tall socks that'll go all the way up to your knees. Yeah, that'll help.
Good boy.
I think you
He's a good
mentioned at least
boy.
3 things that need to change. Cool, man. I hope it works. I'm 6'0", 100%. Dude, that's it. I almost guarantee you. Well, guarantee you, man. We're a bit of an anomaly in our line of work. Like, especially if you do videos or something, or somebody knows you from social media. Um, every time somebody meets me, it's always the same. Like, oh, you're taller. You're taller than I thought you were. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And I probably look older than you thought I was too. So you should wait till you see me moving around. I'm even worse. How many times you seen a 6'2", 245 dude in a tree? Not a whole lot. My cousin's a heavier set guy, and he'll climb. He does all right. My brother's a thicker guy. He climbs. He does good. Um, I've seen some pretty big guys climb, and it can definitely be done. Um, but I imagine it's harder on them. You know, you got to pull around a lot of weight. So there becomes a thing after climbing for so long that like there's like finger strength. Like I legit have held myself up in trees by my fingertips before, in the bark where I've slipped, and like things start to become strong that you didn't even know like was possible. You start to get like strong fingers and stuff, but your grip starts to get ridiculous, and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely is something you kind of gotta fiddle with and realize, you know, Jack, you're a bit of an anomaly when it comes to tree work. A lot of things aren't going to be probably designed to you. They have to go for a universal kind of height, and what's more likely, a lot of times a lot of guys are smaller in this line of work, so they kind of lean that direction when it comes to producing products. Um, you know, especially specialty products like your spikes, your gaps, things like that. I've been cranking without pulling the wrinkles out. Yeah, that'll do it, man. No joke, I'm just learning, so I understand when you say you don't feel like making videos. Yeah, it's a tough one, Jerry. It's like I do want to make videos, but there's a lot of effort that kind of goes into it. A lot of times, um, I have to, I personally have to watch it and at least maybe I won't like it, but find it entertaining enough to watch. Like if I can't watch it and see that it's okay, I just won't put it out. I'll start over. I'll crash that, start fresh. And it's a lot of work sometimes. Sometimes you just, I don't want to put out trash and stuff that I don't feel is up to par. So sometimes I just hold off because like I could rush a video out and just so you guys had something to watch, but well, just quality over quantity. Um, and maybe that's why my channel doesn't grow very fast. Maybe that's why it grows so slow. Maybe it's the opposite when it comes to YouTube. Maybe it should be quantity over quality. And I don't know. Maybe we'll try. I'll try that eventually. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm figuring this out as I go. And like originally, it seemed like I was making some of the right moves, and then all of a sudden, things have just kind of all my analytics just crashed here the past year or two. Ultra low tech tuber. Yeah. I don't overall except the music and the shorts and I use my boost mobile phone. Yeah. Well, man, all you do is you go and in your gallery to edit. All you would do, you could make all the clips that you want. Say you got a 15-minute video. What you do is you go in, you click on that video, you go to edit. Then you trim it down to a smaller version. What part of that 15-minute video do you want? And you clip that part out. Say you want to clip out a 1-minute section. You trim it down to that and you export that. And that makes a clip. So this is the long way version you can do it. Or you can get an editor that kind of does this stuff for you. But yeah, and a lot of times I'll take like a raw video and I can turn it into a video that has certain sections slow mode and this and that, and I'll do it that way. So I was just talking with Greg about this the other day. If you're somebody who has a phone who like has one of the older SD card setups that you can actually get to it, um, I'm forced to do this now. My GoPro won't connect to my phone, so what I do is I take the SD card out of my GoPro, I shut my phone off and I pull the SD card out, and there's a storage SD card spot on my phone on the back of my normal SD, and so I just click a SD card, or put the SD card in there, put it back in, and then it has all my footage from the GoPro, then on my phone in the gallery, and I clip it from there, so. Dang, Thomas is a big one too. I had edited videos that I was talking would be a giant long beep. That's funny. Hey, that may be good content though, man. Walk tall, what's going on, man? Walk tall, I believe, puts out some pretty. He has a YouTube channel, and I think he puts out some real good footage, um, and makes good videos. Some people have similar names. Maybe I may be wrong, but I think I'm right. You have a YouTube channel, right, Walk Tall? Yep. I personally wouldn't want to see besides you guys and it is a bit, it's tough to be kind of taller and bigger up in there. It's just more to have to pull around and maneuver around, and you stuck in tight spots. So you got to put a bigger body in that tight spot, it's gonna be tougher. But it is what it is, man. You make it work. Start to use some of that stuff to your advantage. Where you're taller, you got longer arms. You can reach for things that other people can't. You get a little better grip. You can get a better grip, like you're able to reach around and hold on to a tree, where somebody that had a little bit stubby arm probably couldn't do that. But I want to make a. I want to make. If I can do that, I'll be tickled pink. I said the same thing, ground pounder, but it's just human nature. After something works, you want it to continue to work, and you want it to get better. And everything I do, I mean, maybe that's just me, maybe I'm weird, but that's just the competitiveness in me. Like, I want to be good at anything I do, or I really don't want to do it. I hate half-assing anything, so it's like, and I hate to think that my content has gotten worse. Like, the viewership has went down, the watch time has went down, the likes have went down, the shares have went down, but the amount of content is also went down. So, and plus YouTube censors about every single thing I really want to do, so that's a bit aggravating too. Ow, 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 my knees, my knees, my knees. Oh. And yeah, for those that don't know it, I get around on two blown out knees, so it can be done. Give me just a second.
Are you done?
No. See, I'm getting. Hang on, let me get. I got a another tripod I can put you guys on. Dang it. In the process of coming out here to you guys, my knee just popped out of place. I ought to put the camera close to it and like see if you can hear my leg pop into place. I don't know if you'll be able to. Come on, damn it, pop back in. See, this is what's. Now I'll walk around with my leg out of place. It happens if I relax my leg. Like sitting in a seated position, after I'm sitting down and I get up, it happens every time. My left leg, my right knee is totally destroyed, and like my leg. Check this out. I'm about to just show you guys how falling apart an old man can be at 40. So if you look at my leg, it's sideways. So it bows out crazy this way because my knee's totally blown out. There's like arthritis holding it together, and it's just like it used to swell up real big, like it would swell up here and be knots here and there, but it's gotten better. It's like held together with just arthritis, and I can only bend it to about right there, and that's it. But my leg is somewhat sideways because like I reset my leg myself, and then this one, I wish it would just pop back in right now. Come on. Usually I can put a little bit of weight on it and straighten it out, and it'll just pow back into place, but it is not working right now. So I'm not going to worry about it. But what I was going to tell you guys, and it just showed the tree in the background, so that reminded me. My wife says that I need to climb this, and I need to get the dead wood out of it, and I need to inspect it, see the fishing string hanging out of it? I have lights that go across and they float. I used to have, check this out. I used to have these things. So these, now they're full of water and stuff, but they have these little solar panels on it, and they were just balls that would float they were all over the top of the hot tub and stuff there. But yeah, and there's my old bench that I carved on YouTube live a long time ago. That's solid black walnut, which is funny because I have a trailer that has the whole floor in the trailer is made out of like 3-inch solid black walnut slabs too. So like the floor of the trailer is worth probably twice as much as the trailer itself. So that's always kind of funny when people see it. Originally it was all nice and like shellacked and everything, but yeah, not anymore. It just sat out in the sun and gotten beaten up. Oh, hang on, my bad. So I want to try to catch up on comments, but I also need to cut my rope and get that done too. Walking is my tree video. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Bids account? Really? Catch you guys next. Okay, see you, James. I'll be the first one to say I'm not all that great at it, but I can do what I need to, so I'm happy. Oh no. Okay, see me in the trees here. Just not right now. If I lost 40 pounds, that'd sure help. That's funny. I'm 150 and 5'8". That's still probably a little above average when it comes to tree climbers, I would say. But oh, the reason my wife wants me to climb this too, as I just see it up there. Apparently in the last storm, we broke out up here. So if you guys want, I'll figure out some way to do a live feed out of a tree, and maybe next week or sometime this week. Maybe I could squeeze it in this week. I'm doing like an extra live feed, and if you guys want, and we'll do it from out of the tree, so we can get the whole thing like going up into it. This damn tripod is not getting the job done. It's the worst. Okay, I done ran half the people off too. This is crazy. Okay, so you guys know there's a special tool to do this. I explained this once before. After I finish this, I'm gonna jump ahead on the comments. That way I can be like, let me just keep going first. That way I can kind of get maybe back to live. 6'4", yeah. All tree climbers in this group, I agree. 100%, Jake. 100%. We'll definitely get it. You're very something good, yeah. I have to check out your channel, man. My wife is a real estate broker, and I started in all photos and videos. I haven't done my videos in a while. Oh, really? Yeah, editing's editing though. You start to enjoy that, you get a bug for it, you know, it's something cool. Videos and editing videos and stuff kind of gave me new life when it comes to tree work, because I've done it forever, and like to find out I could make a video out of it and really show people what it's like to be up there and do what I do, I was stoked. And when I found out there's other guys like you guys out there that do the same thing, I was really stoked. So let me go get the special tool. wonder if I can put that. I just need to find a better spot for this. Definitely was not prepared to use this. Oh my god, it just broke. So stupid. Whatever. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, I'll glue that back together one of these days. But instead, we're just gonna prop it up against it and use it that way. So we're not gonna have the best holder here, but we'll try. I'm gonna fall over every time I try to check a comment. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead on comments. I'm sorry. I am really, really sorry. Forgive me. Mike, it's me, Jared. Oh, okay. I subbed to your channel, Block Tall, and Ground Pounder. I got no fancy, no worries, brother, tree bids. Yeah, that's awesome. I understand what you mean about YouTube saying, I want me to be continually successful. I get it, yeah. Hey guys, stay safe and have a great week. See you, Turbo. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate it. You're the kind of guy that won't read up that way. Yeah, just keep freaking getting it back. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll deal with it and adjust, and we'll make it work. You guys can probably see many times that I've tried a lot of things to see what would really take off. Um, I may circulate back through some of them ideas again, like reviewing videos and stuff like that. But okay, when I cut a rope, I always like to tape really tight with electrical tape first, so I know exactly where I'm gonna cut, and to keep it from fraying out. You don't want to put too much of that, especially if you plan on using it through a device that has to be like the zigzag. Um, that can be very aggravating. Or if putting this thing like into a tree jack, if you put too much duct tape here or electrical tape, when you go to feed this in through there, it gets bunched up, it gets stuck, and it becomes a very big pain. So remember that when you're taping stuff, the ends on your ropes and stuff. So, all right, so that's that. I should probably tape the other end, because I'm not going to throw this piece of rope away, because it's still got some use. It could be used for a lot of things. A sling, just an anchor piece. I make my dog toys with them. Like, he's got a couple toys made out of that all gear cherry bomb, where I've accidentally cut them. But yeah. So let's see if I can get you guys to stand there. Probably not. Let's see. The stovepipe in your way. Hey. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. So, you got it taped, both spots. Yeah, this thing. So you just like, just untie this. Like that. Then you do like this. Then you go like this. Then you go like this. See, that's perfect. I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors. So what happens is this ain't a perfectly flat surface here, so you end up like not hitting it perfect. So you can finish it with a pair of scissors, and then take any little frays off. But I want you to look how clean of a cut that is. Where's the camera? So that's a pretty clean cut. What I'll do now is I'll take the end melt that inner core together to make it one, so it doesn't separate as much. Now you don't want to just take and keep pressing down because you're going to swell the rope out. So I do that a few times to make the bottom one. But then I start to grab and work my fingers around. And remember, it's hot. Probably be best to wear gloves, especially if you got tender hands. And then I kind of roll it right on the outside of the heat just to get that outer edge. Then I'll roll it a little on whatever surface I'm using, and there you have it. The end, sealed up completely. Now what you can do is take another little bit of electrical tape and finish wrapping that again. I don't want to. I'm going to leave it like that. That's good for me. That's set so I can go ahead and put my hook back on. I'm going to cut this end now. Definitely not a sword guy. I just cut the whole end of it off. I swing that thing all crazy. It probably doesn't need to be swung like that. You could probably just touch it to it and it would rip through. Well, I accidentally cut my actual tape off. So what I'll do is I'll re-tape real quick. And remember, this is just that excess rope, but there's absolutely no need to take and throw this stuff away, because you can use it for something, whether it be a cord wrap, sling, an anchor for a tree jack, a long strap for a redirect. There's tons of stuff, a little tow strap to anchor a little load. There's just tons of stuff you can use it for. There's no sense in ever wasting it. So I have little pieces of rope all over. I use them all for something. But so then I have this. So I'll probably just take this and we'll daisy chain it and then go store it up in my shed or something. I'd imagine this may be 10 foot of rope. Now that I look at it, I was a little off. I was trying to be conservative on my guess when I was saying it earlier, but it's probably every bit of 10 foot. So you can make a little climb system with this. Slap a knot at the end. You can run SRT and like have a little climb system to put on your back of your belt. So you can use this whole rope. It'd be very simple to use. You just run it bowling, anchor it, slap a knot in the end of it, and then you got 10 foot of moving space with a little climbing system if you go SRT. There you have it. There's the extra rope right there. Little daisy chain of it. Let's go over. I can't believe. Dang it. Oops. That sucks. It's so little. It wouldn't. It's so stupid. It wouldn't even like bend the camera down. I don't know what was wrong with it. So, alright, let's go over here. Let's put this hook on. Now I'm probably gonna worry about getting dinner and stuff. I'm getting hungry. But yeah, like I was saying, if you guys are down, maybe we'll do a live feed from out of the tree. We will see. So, later turbo pump, computer lab. Oh, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. through the hips. Oh, I should have. Dang it. I'm already sitting down, Billy. And plus, I'd probably throw a hip out if I did a hip thrust. Oh, these things are so heavy. That may be the actual weight of this thing, 23 kilonewtons. 'Cause it's heavy. And I'm just kidding, so don't correct me and be like, "Oh, you know how much weight that is?" I know how much weight it is. All right. You guys down for that? When's Dave gonna call? Probably in a few minutes. Any second. So, like I was doing earlier, I wrap around. Hang on. So I show you this. There's that. Take, wrap it around once, wrap it around twice, then take this in, go around that, and then back up through those two loops. So this one, instead of having the 3 like the last one did, it'll just have the 2. Like the original one, not the first one I tied, but the original one that was on here. It just takes up less room. So with this knot, the way you would field dress it is after you slide it down, you can finish field dressing these parts here. But it's hard to really field dress them until you cinch it down, whatever it is you're using. So you put it on there and then cinch it down. Okay? Then you really start to get that bit down in there. And field dress that the rest of the way. Actually wouldn't mind grabbing some, grab a piece actually. Dang it. Really, I tried to do a practice hip thrust. Oh, when I was over there, because I was going to do it when I got over, I just threw my hip out. So, I was going to try. I really was. So I don't have to deal with that thing always getting in my way. I will, now that it's cinched down, I know where it goes on this. I'll just take a little bit of tape and put them two together. I want to put a bunch, because I want to be able to take it off if I need. But we'll put a little there, and we'll put a little bit halfway to the knot. That way nothing gets stuck in this, because if it opens up that loop there, you could easily get something stuck in it, a little stub or something stupid. So, how long is it going to be before you can't say the word stupid on YouTube? Because someone gets offended. Put a little more on the very end here, and that'll be it. That's it. Now I can keep an eye on it, make sure the knot's starting to move or adjust or anything, and makes it pretty nice when you go to throw this hook. You got this like handle here that really you can give it a chuck. But yeah, that's it. That's how I connect my clips usually when I'm making my rigging line, my full line and stuff. It still moves freely in there, but eventually when you do a couple limbs, it will cinch up the rest of the way and it'll have it pretty snug in there. I don't know, like, I've never really thought about how sharp that bend radius is, which it is very sharp, but the thing about it is it's not moving, it's stationary on that. So I know that affects it, has a major effect. Like moving rope will smush way more, and this is stationary, so but that would be a possible concern. But what happens is you're not using it like that, you're taking it around something, you're clipping it on, so a lot of the force is being put right here and here, as opposed to so much being like right there on that. Yeah. Let me catch up on comments and then I'm gonna bail out, guys. No Dave here. Yeah, I know. think I might just have something in the works on a shirt, but who knows? Your attorney. You have the stuff? No Dave here. Holy cow. Okay, I'm way behind on comments. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, I wasn't that far behind, so I'm going to go back a few. Take care. Thomas left, dang it. See you, Thomas. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Everyone have a great week. I always try to catch you randomized if I can. Cool, Ground Pounder. We may do that one up in the tree. If not, maybe we'll save it for next week and do that. Take care, Ground Pounder. Later, GP. Good. Still here. Getting in my C's. Right on. At the friction and that kind. Yep. All right. So yeah. You guys have a good one. Dan, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Jared, appreciate you being here, buddy. Billy, Ground Pounder, Thomas, everybody that's been here. You guys are awesome. Steve, what is up, man? Going to bed just when I get. Oh no! God dang it, Steve. Um, I apologize, brother. But we were just talking about we may do a second live feed this week, and I'll climb this tree back behind us. We've used it for a bunch of demonstrations, but you guys see what? It took me so long to get this like this. It's like a little privacy area with all my vines and my lattice and stuff that I put in, so that I got a little privacy here at my hot tub in the evenings. Because I am right in the middle of town. Everybody around me. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys very soon. And I'll get a video out just because of you guys. I'll work on something either this evening or tomorrow. And I'll just slap blinders on. And I got enough creativity in me. I got enough for at least one video. So, Jerry, it was good talking with you this time, man. I appreciate you hanging out. Cool, Steve. Cool. Thank you. You guys all take care. Jack, thanks for hanging out, buddy. It was good having you here. Ground Pounder, always good. I'll catch you guys very soon. Stay safe and make sure the rest of your week is safe. I hope it is, and I'll catch you later. See ya.